Hello dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me Anna with you here, and today we are here to discuss all the latest news update from Spain, everything that is going on, the current situation, and what is our government telling us and planning to do here in the country. So let's start with the situation first. As usual, you know that we've been given already the details for the weekend, and there is some strange thing going on about what the government is saying and what they actually are showing us. Like from one side they are kind of worried, but from the other side they're telling that no, everything is perfect, you don't need to worry, everything is super great here in Spain. So this is what they tell. In the last weekend, we've had 9,798 new cases, so almost 10,000, which means roughly like 4,900 more or less per day, which is slightly more than we used to have last week. And the index grows by 11 points during the weekend, so like 5.5 per day, which was kind of what we had before. And right now it is of 88 more or less per every 100,000 people. The Ministry of Health has decided to make a huge change in terms of the light, like the index light, to indicate if we are like in a medium risk, in a low risk, or if we are in a high or extreme risk in here. So they want to change the entire system. Why they are doing this? First of all, because it's not already the same. The situation has been changing and people are vaccinated. It's not the same, like the amount of people that are getting sick is not equal to the amount of people that are in the hospitals. Previously, when all this started, it was kind of equal because people were not immunized, were not prepared, so it was the case. Right now, it's not anymore. So we need to look differently at all the situation that we're living on right now, which is why they want to put different measures so that the low risk would be between 50 and 100 cases. 100 towards 300, it's a medium risk. And over 500 might be considered like high extreme risk. And everything has doubled. So before, extreme risk started at 250, right now it's at 500. So it gives us slightly more of a margin to play with. And the most important thing is that they've said there's not going to be any new normality anymore. So this term, like these words of new normality, which was between 0 and 25, does not exist anymore. Like it just does not exist. What they say and how they want to call it, the controlled situation. It doesn't mean that someone is controlling us. It just means that the situation itself, the amount of cases, the growth is under control. That will be from 0 until 50. So right now we will be like in a low risk with the numbers that we have right at this very moment. This change will probably take place either during this week or the next week. They want to approve it because to me it kind of feels a correct way to measure all the situation, especially because the amount of cases in the hospitals, it's not critical, it's very low. So we are kind of good. This is why they're saying that even if the situation is kind of getting worse, there are more and more cases, but the amount of people in the hospitals is more or less the same. So it does not really matter that like people get the virus. It's like a cold, it's like a flu. People will get it eventually. Like it's not a problem, especially now when the majority, like 90%, are vaccinated. So we are not worried as we were before. And also the other thing that they've said is that the closure of bars and restaurants, remember what we had during all these pandemics was that bars and restaurants were closing every now and then. They've opened up 2 weeks after they've closed, depending on the cases. So right now it's not going to be something recommended automatically. So like number of cases rises, okay, bars and restaurants shut down. No, it's not going to be like this anymore. What it will be, it's like an additional measure that autonomic regions, that different communities and areas in Spain will be able to ask for just in case nothing else will help. But it's not something that will be like in a checklist that's needed to be done in case of the rise of like all these cases. So this is how it's going to work. Also, there is a debate about the passports, like green passports, COVID passports, certificates, because in Galicia and País Vasco, they, like some of the north regions, they want to input, like some of them have it already, but the more and more regions want to input certificates, especially for people who are not vaccinated, because they want to make sure that the situation will continue stable. And some of the regions are thinking like this. Our Valencian region, the government is also thinking about putting on the green certificate. They want to ask for it like in tourism and shopping centers, like places where there's like more and more people. But it's always like this, you know, they always say, well, maybe we should put it, but then they see what people think. They see that people would just refuse to go anywhere, and that would just make the tourism and the economy of our region like just drop down very, very fast. So probably they're not going to input this measure. They're just thinking about it. They are talking about it, but as it is, probably it's not going to be in our region, because it would mean total fail of the government, because the economy would not survive what they're planning to do. But we'll see what's going to be happening. So far, it's just something that they are talking about, that they're thinking of, maybe we should do this. But at the end, we don't know if this is something that will be approved in our region or not. This is basically the situation for the day of today here in Spain. Those of you who want to travel, what I can say is that people are traveling. Like if you really want to travel but you just don't know what the situation is in here, look at the videos that I've been posting recently from Fiestas, from just Mediterranean Avenue, from different areas of Benidorm, and you'll see that people are here. There's a lot of people. The thing is that if you maintain the social distancing, if you wear a mask when you need to wear it, if you disinfect your hands, sanitize, then you should have nothing to be worried about, because a lot of people are still traveling when the weather is still so nice and warm on the sunshine. The next news is very interesting one. It's intriguing. It's something that the local government here of Alicante area wanted to propose for a really, really long time. Even more, I can say, they were planning to put this new law last year in 2020, but then something happened between political parties here in the area, and they've decided not to do so. They've left it on the table, and right now they start with this law once again, and they want to finish it and get it approved this year. What is this law? It's about the civil coexisting, co-living. It's how they call it, but basically this law means that they want to kind of improve the streets in terms of homeless people, in terms of ladies that offer their service during nighttime, and not only nighttime, for money. I'm sure you know what I mean. And this is something that's very controversial. This is something that generates a lot of problems and a lot of talk online and everywhere, between politics, between people on the streets, because it's very delicate subject to talk about. And what basically they wanted to do last year is to put huge fines for homeless people, which is kind of ridiculous to do, because if they're homeless, like what fine they will be paying you? Like it's just irrational thing to think about, you know. And they were saying that they want to put some fines on them, like for people who are just doing not very nice things outside, like urinating outside and leaving garbage everywhere, because they, as for their words, they wanted to protect tourists and people living in Alicante area, so that all of us who live here, who come here for holidays, we would not need to see these like bizarre things that we see sometimes on the streets, which I get why they are doing this. But what I don't get is the measures that they are proposing to achieve this goal, you know. So they said the fines will be from 1,000 until 3,500 euros, depending on if it's something major or if it's like a small, tiny thing that they did. Right now, they're changing it because like different political parties, they did not approve what they wanted to do. And what they say is that they will be promoting social help for the homeless people. I know that a lot of homeless people here, they just live on the streets. They don't want to go to like shelters or to social like centers. They just don't want to go there. They are way more comfortable living on the streets. Don't ask me why, I don't know it, but this is something that I've heard that these people were telling, so it must be true then. Like social help for these people to find them a social home where they could stay, to find like a shelter, to bring them food, and try to reincorporate them back to the social life basically here. And also for the ladies that offer services for money on the streets. Before they wanted to put like a huge fine, but now it should be less than that, like lower fine for those girls, lower one for those who have declared the income, who have like social security, who pay autonomo, like I don't know, who have it like a normal job, you know. But for the rest of them, the fine will be still very, very big, because they like a few years ago there was a huge issue on one of the cultural events in Alicante, where children and a lot of families came, and they've seen like not very pleasant scenes of lady with some gentlemen, and like people sleeping, people being on the streets doing not very nice things. And this is why this new law started, basically because they wanted to avoid things like this. We will see what will be happening. Here in Spain, they want to do it more and more. They want to make cities like nice. They want to eliminate the non-desirable things that people don't want to see. They just want to eliminate them on the streets, thinking that if they eliminate what we can see, they eliminate the problem as it is, which is not actually true. But I mean, this is what the government is actually thinking right now. Let me know how it is in your country. It will be very interesting to see if in your country you also have like a lot of people on the streets, homeless people, ladies, if it's kind of regulated by law or if it's not, on contrary, and is your country very harsh with it, or if it's not. Here I must say it depends on the city. Like, of course, in Alicante you would see more homeless people on the streets, but the majority of these people, they still are dressed like okay, they are clean, they're neat, they just have few things in there. They have maybe some company animals like dogs mostly, and they're just sitting on the street asking for help. It's not something very like like, you know, to see. It's not something uncomfortable to see for a majority of people. We're used to it. They're just there asking for help. Some of them don't even ask for money. Some of them ask for clothes, for like shelter, for food, like for things like this, you know, which are not monetary, which is why we're kind of okay with it. But the government has different opinion about all this. The last news is about Benidorm Fiestas. I've been showing it to you for a few days in a row already. Today for us it's Wednesday, which basically means that it's officially the end of Benidorm's November Fiestas. And today we will have a huge firework at the Poniente Beach this evening. I will definitely go and film this for you guys, and this will be uploaded to YouTube on tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll be able to see the end of Benidorm's Fiestas here on the channel. Actually, it's been quite okay. It's been very, very fun to see the streets so busy. There's been a lot of tourists and people from all Spain coming here for the fiestas. We've had this amazing fair that I also was filming for you guys, but it was so crowded, but that we just went out very, very fast. I was just able to film it for you guys, and we went away because it was impossible on how busy the fair was, especially because on the first day they had some discounts for all the attractions, which was not there on the second and the third day. So this is why a lot of people went on the first opening day. And then we've had the Valencian Mascleta, the traditional Spanish firecrackers show with a lot of noise. This is the video that I've uploaded yesterday. If you did not check it, check that one, because it's impressive. Even on camera, it's impressive what the sound is like, the vibes that you get in the air. And today is the end of them. But even though the fiestas will be over, even though starting from tomorrow children get back to school, we recover our normal, usual life, tomorrow there is still one more fiesta to go, but it will be only in the British area, which is the fancy dress party. It's something that a lot of British and mostly like British area celebrates here, although you can see people throughout all the parts of the town, but mostly it's like on the British area. And it's something that is very, very nice. I've seen pictures from last like pre-pandemic years, and I hope that this year it's going to be the same, especially with less and less restrictions. I'm sure that this year it's going to be spectacular as well. We will be heading there, of course, with all of you to see how the British street is living the fancy dress party this year. It's also one of the biggest fancy dresses in Europe, which is amazing, and it gets bigger and bigger each year. There are even like agencies and round town like agencies that offer you tickets that are going like from Alicante, from Calpe, different towns to with a bus, with a like small bus to that area, like approximately for 3 p.m., which is when it's like an afternoon thing at 3 p.m. and it ends up like at 7, 8 more or less. Of course, people stay and party on, but the majority of them, it's like from 2, 3 up until like 7, 8 p.m. And we'll be able to see that. So this will be like the last festive thing up until Christmas already. The next fiestas will be already Christmas here in our area. Will be opening of Christmas fair, opening of Christmas markets, lights turned on here in Benidorm, which will be very, very nice to see as well. So very amazing, colorful, full of lights. Enjoy time is coming to our area. These are basically the news for today. And what about the Spanish weather that will be here with us for the next few days? As you can see on this map right here, we will have some clouds and some rain, but it will be very, very small, like particles on the north and some of the south parts of Spain. What we are kind of worried about, just a tiny bit, is the first alert due to winter Dana. Dana is a storm that usually comes to Spain every now and then. Last year, the winter Dana brought us a lot of snow that collapsed Madrid for an entire week, maybe even slightly more. And like all the north part of Spain was just collapsed with snow. And it was extremely cold. Here it wasn't like nothing ever happened in our area, like it always is. The snow just went up until the mountains that are in the back, but that's basically it. So maybe this year will be the same case, but we're worried that it is coming with strong snowfall and like huge amount of snow actually towards Spain next week. But for now, it's all stable. We will see what will be happening, but for now, up until Sunday, we'll have approximately this type of weather. There might be some rain that will be coming towards the south of Valencian region, Murcia, and like general Andalusia. And then these clouds, they will go high towards the north, but it's not going to be raining in our area hardly, like maybe 1 hour. Some of these days it will be raining, but it's not something like big that would prevent us from celebrating and prevent us from going out and enjoying the weather here in the area. This is basically what will be happening, and the temperatures will be decreasing just a tiny bit, but by a few degrees on the north parts, and there you will see maximum of 2 degrees like between today and tomorrow, which is very strange, but I mean, cold weather is coming. It's going to be December soon, so it's something that is expected to happen. But here it's going to be still very, very nice and warm. In Alicante, we'll have approximately 19 degrees. Here in Benidorm, 19, 20. Barcelona 16, Granada, Malaga, and Sevilla will have 19 degrees, more or less. Madrid 14. Murcia 20, Balearic Islands 16, and Canarian approximately 23 degrees today. The water temperature has dropped just a little bit up until 19.5, but I've still seen people yesterday on Benidorm's beach while we were having a celebration. I've still seen people that were going to swim in our Mediterranean Sea on the Poniente beach. And starting from this Thursday, what will be happening is that minimum temperatures at some points of Spain will be -7 degrees. I did not check it for next week because there's still a long time to go, but we will see if it's actually true and if the snow is coming to Spain or if the weather will change, what happens a lot of the times, and this Dana will go somewhere towards the ocean and will not touch our country as much. I hope you enjoyed watching today's news. I wish you a lovely day of today, and I'll see you tomorrow with the Benidorm's last video from official Fiestas of November with nice final celebration with a lot of fireworks. Don't miss that one. Bye.